what benefits will people actually get in doing yoga? Because there's a lot of no, there's still a few people that would say na, ay, boring yan or whatever, whatnot.
Mhm.
I've tried it myself. I would say na I'm having a hard time doing it, but I still do it anyway.
Parang I think I grew a lot more patient. It helped me become more aware of my breathing. And not everyone knows how to breathe. I mean, diba, Coach Pao, I think for sure you've had clients na, kunyari, example, it's plank. Instead of breathing in plank, right, they hold their breath.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh gosh.
Diba? Kaya parang, oh my gosh, ang hirap ng plank. It's because people are not breathing. So I think that's the one of the most concrete benefits that you get from yoga is you learn how to breathe. And when you learn how to breathe, you get this tool. You have this tool in your pocket that you can use to deal with anything outside your yoga mat. When you get to deal with problems in your life, when you encounter stressful situations, you're taught in your yoga to breathe, to come back to the breath.
Good day, truth seekers. Welcome to the Unspoken Truth with DJY Academy. I am Paolo.
Hi, I am Christelle, and we are here again to fuel your curiosities. Dive with us as we uncover the unspoken truth of people from different walks of life. Hello, Coach. Kinabahan ako doon. Kamusta ka?
Okay lang ako, Tel. Huwag kang kabahan. Parang first time mo naman. Hindi naman first time mag-podcast. Ang dami na nating podcast na nagawa. Dami mo na rin podcast na nagawa. But anyway, to answer the question, I'm pretty much very okay. I'm very excited to our guest for today, for this episode. I've been very busy in DJY Academy, other organizations as well. But yeah, how are you, Miss Tel? Ayan, isang bagong episode na naman tayo.
Oo, totoo. Pang-ilan na ba 'to? Excited ako actually, especially na yung, tawag dito, guest natin is babae na naman. So, panibagong ano na naman 'to, Coach, parang malalaman na naman natin kung ano yung mga ganap nila in the past, kung paano sila naging, kung sino sila ngayon. So yeah, before we start, I'd just like to introduce our guest. She is a certified yoga teacher at the 200-hour level, teaching vinyasa-based classes for beginners across all age groups. She teaches group classes through the Urban Ashram Yoga online studio, but for students who are hesitant to join a big group, she also teaches one-on-one classes. I'd like to welcome Miss Sophia Banio. Hello po.
Ayan!
Hi! Hi, Tel! Hi, Coach Pao! Kamusta?
Okay lang kami. Kumusta, Miss Sophia?
Ito, buhay pa naman. Doing great. I hope you're all doing great too.
Yeah, that's true. And then thank you very much to our all listeners today. Thank you very much also for taking your time to listen, and you will be able to learn so much in this episode with Miss Sophia. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Thank you
sige.
for
Miss
having
Sophia,
me.
I think before we get to the meaty questions, before we go to the main set, we usually ask this, no, and we ask this sincerely. So, In the span of a year and 10 months, almost 11 na, magto 2 years na tayo in the pandemic. Wow! How are you? No, how have you been navigating in this pandemic?
I feel like it's been longer. I mean, my goodness, 1 year, 11 months. It felt like 10 years. Parang a lot of things died and got reborn inside of me.
That's actually.
I think also for everyone, it's been a lot. It's too much to put into words, I think. That's what I feel. And I know, I think everyone thinks that as well. It's been too much, but we're thriving. We're breaking through, pushing for new things, for growth, diba? So, yeah.
It's really nice, no? And then, yeah, I think it's really hard to put our experiences in the past a year and 11 months, no? And para talaga siyang 10 years. Jesus Christ, para talaga siyang, 1 year and 10 months lang pala tayo. Akala ko 10 years na tayo nasa pandemic.
Grabe.
And ganun siya kabilis, no? It was parang yesterday lang tayo nag-lockdown, March 14. And then, yun. Naalala ko talaga kasi na-cancel lahat ng flights ko.
Summer plans gone.
Summer plans, goodbye. So, yan. And I think, Miss Sophia, no, this is really interesting for us kasi si Miss Tel din, daming tanong for you. Kasi curious na curious yan sa buhay mo rin. And she's equally curious to other our speakers. No? I think to start the ball rolling, yan, Miss Tel, simulan mo na.
Ayun na nga, Miss Sophia. Ginamit ko yung stalking skills ko kanina actually before.
No!
Nang stalk na nag-research para maganda. I did my research, ganyan. Yun, nakita ko kasi na parang tawag dito, sumali ka ng binibini. So, would like to know lang, like, how was your or paano ka nag-start? How was your journey nung sumali ka sa Binibining Pilipinas? And paano niya nabago yung buhay mo right now?
Ooh, wow. Thank you for that wonderful question.
Candidate number 5.
Candidate number 5. Actually, me joining Binibini was something that it not naman out of the blue happened, but it wasn't something that was deeply rooted in a childhood dream. It was more of taking the chance and parang testing, challenging myself lang. Because before I joined, hindi naman a lot, pero some people would encourage me na, uy, join, try it. Kasi matangkad ka naman, may itsura ka naman, di ba? Not, why not? Pero that year, 2018, parang, I don't know, something clicked in me na, sige na, try it. Malay mo, di ba? And then I didn't expect na, uy, nakapasok. And then I just, when I was there, I enjoyed the process. Learning a lot. We were 40. These 39 wonderful ladies all had their own stories. And I learned a lot. Parang I don't know if my mind is capable of parang absorbing all the lessons kasi ganun siya karami. And it was really a once in a lifetime experience. Kaya, I'm glad I took that risk. I took that challenge upon. So it was fun. It was really fun.
Hindi, no? So, Miss Tel actually told me that before we started. And then I was like, talaga? Teka lang. Check ko nga. Parang ano to? So, I also checked. Oh, wow. This is so interesting. No? So, you spoke about process, Miss Sophia. Let's go to that part also. So, what was the process and how was it for you?
Because this is still the pageant, right? So because everything happened in such a short period of time, I think for me, my whole like training process plus the actual being in the pageant, it was like around 4 to 5 months. And in that 5 months, parang pandemya, a lot happened. Parang kinondense in those 5 months. and it was physically, it was mentally draining actually. And if you didn't take each day like just one step at a time, talagang ma-overwhelm ka. So I think I learned a lot from that feeling of being overwhelmed. Parang
Wow.
maybe it made me stronger. I don't know. It made me more appreciative of the efforts of the people helping me through that journey. Parang no man is an island talaga. You can't go on in life, not just in the pageant world, in the pageant life, but just in life general. You can't go on just being alone. So talagang you need the help, you need the support of other people. And I think that's how I got to survive the journey, that 5 months of intensity is with the help of other people.
Well, grabe, no? With that thought, surround yourself with people talaga. And it's really true na, I think I'll delve with the quote na, if you want to really go farther, you have to work with people and surround yourself with people that will seriously and sincerely support you from start to finish.
Yes, true. 100%.
Grabe. Grabe, no? So I think, Miss Sophia, ako talaga on the may script kami, but I just ask questions on the go. So, with that, Miss Sophia, no? Sophia, parang, I know there's so many lessons from that experience. May transition to later. So, if you just put it into 2 or 3 lessons na nakuha mo from that process, being part of the Binibining Pilipinas, ano yun? Candidate number 10.
Here pala pinpoint. But so number 1, I think the one that stood out the most is allowing yourself to make mistakes.
Oh, wow. So
You'll
nice.
never learn. You'll never learn if you don't make mistakes.
Ang galing.
I think, looking back, parang wala naman akong na-commit na, whoa, sobrang laki. It's the little things. Allow yourself to make mistakes, and that's where you learn. Number 2 is, once you've experienced that mistake, learn naman to go easy on yourself. I mean, don't beat yourself up too much.
Oh, ang galing. Very timely yung lessons mo.
It's really timely. I mean, I think for everyone, forever, wala siyang pinipiling panahon. Don't beat yourself up too much. I mean, you only have one body, only have one self. And if you beat it up to a pulp, I mean, where will you end up, diba? Parang your parents gave you life. Parang don't waste that naman. Don't beat yourself up. And then lastly is to it's a little bit more of the being the sentimental side, but as much as you can, make, what do you call this? Make sure that you make memories, and then you document that memory.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, uso naman ngayon yun kasi social media, di ba? Take photos, videos, keep little mementos from that time. But you get to look back and you enjoy the process you've been through. Maybe you can show it to other people, your kids, your grandkids, di ba? You share what moment you enjoyed, di ba? So I think those are the 3 that really stood out for me.
Ang galing yan. Ayan, napapaluhan na naman si Mr.
Mr.
Ayan. Sige, magsalita ka na, Mr. Kasi naiiyak na yan.
Laging umiiyak. Maganda yung mga sinabi ni Miss Sophia kanina. But would also like to know, Miss, was there like other than all, I mean, aside from all the learnings na natutunan mo, yun nga, learnings, was there a time na dumating ka sa punto na, alam mo yun, dumating ka sa karuruk-ruru ka na ayoko nang gawin to, or during the pageant ba, na tawag to, was there a time na na-feel mo mas maganda siya sa akin, feeling ko mas matalino siya sa akin, ganun? na hindi ko magagawa to? May mga ganun ba? Like, may mga ganung moment?
Ako, I think for everyone naman, it's inevitable na mafe-feel mong you're a little bit insecure. I mean, it's normal. And yung mga insecurities mo is actually what makes you pretty amazing, because you get to work around those insecurities, you get to improve yourself more. And yung mga things that you compare yourself to others, the things that they do better than you can learn from those things. For sure, during that time, I felt some bouts of insecurity, pero it's pretty normal. I took that in as a lesson more than something that will, you know, hinder me from moving on, from going through it. So, yeah.
Galing nun, no? That's so nice. So, with that process, Miss Sophia, how
Mm-mm.
did you transition from trying to be a beauty pageant, no? How did that transition to you to what you're doing now as a yoga teacher?
Actually, okay. Let's rewind. Let's go back a few steps
Ayan.
before me
Ayan,
joining
yan. Gusto ko yan. Yung mga ganyang few steps.
yung may background story,
Oo,
di ba?
gusto ko yan.
My first encounter, my first tangible encounter with yoga didn't come from childhood kasi hindi pa naman uso yung yoga. I mean, at least in the Philippines. Like 20 years ago. Ilang taon na ba ako?
Ang na ba?
Wasn't as uso, di ba? So my first tangible encounter with yoga was when I was in my 4th year of college. So
Oh,
I
wow.
joined an org. It's called the UST Yoga Club, and I got to take like a handful of classes during that time. And then back then, after taking those classes, parang it didn't have much of an impact on me. Parang, it's okay. It's an exercise. It's moving around. It's nice. And then after that, I completely forgot about it na. Fast forward, after graduating, I got a job, and then I transferred to my second job, which was being a studio manager for Urban Ashram Yoga. So, part of being a studio manager, one of your responsibilities is to be able to explain to your clients, to the students, what the different types of classes are. Because, of course, they will be inquiring, ano ba yung nice class for me? Ano ba dapat? And of course, for you to be able to explain, dapat na-experience mo na yung class for yourself, right? So I was lucky enough to be in a company that encourages all of its staff members, everyone, to take classes. So I took that chance. I took classes continuously as much as I can. And then, dumating na nga yung Binibining Pilipinas. I had to take a leave from being a studio manager. And then, it was then, during that time, when I realized na I wanted to, how can I share yoga to other people beyond just dragging friends with me to classes? Parang, syempre, hindi naman enough na lagi kang maghahatak lang and take the class with them. So that's when it dawned upon me na maybe I think it's time to take the teacher training. So, Binibining Pilipinas was 2018. I had to wait until 2019, early 2019, for the training that I wanted to join. So that was the training with Yoga Works. And then when I took the training, I transitioned to being a teacher right away. So, and then I'm here now.
Grabe, no? So how long have you been in part of the community, Ms. Sophia?
Of Urban Ashram?
Yeah.
Being that was 2016. Mga June 2016. That's
nice. But
yeah.
With the yoga experience, 4th year college ka pa.
Yung first, yeah. Oh, so I took those handful of classes, right? So that was may revelation ng years. Hindi naman long time ago. Mga 2014, 2015 lang naman yun. And then, 2016, I became part of the Urban Ashram family. And then, yeah, tuloy-tuloy na siya. So, I think most of my adulthood was spent in the yoga community.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Lucky, actually. I'm lucky to have found it so early.
That's really great. So, wow, that's ang layo ba to what you studied in college?
Um, some would say it's far, some would say it's not. Because I took biology.
Ay,
My
medyo
course was
malapit
biology
lang.
in college.
It's
Pwede
still
na.
near. Human anatomy is part of the study.
Yeah. Yes, that really helped me a lot actually during my teacher training. Because I was already interested in anatomy. So that
Ang
part
galing.
was quite enjoyable for me.
That's interesting. No, that's so nice. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. So yoga, no? So since
Mm-mm.
college, wow, it's so interesting. So, if I may ask this, Sophia, with the practice that you're currently doing now, no? Um, what benefits will people actually get in doing yoga? Because there's a lot of no, there's still a few people that would say na, ay, boring yan or whatever, whatnot. I've tried it myself. I would say na I'm having a hard time doing it, but I still do it anyway. That's it. No, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yan. Yan yan.
Um, a lot of benefits. But you know what? I won't blame people naman who say na it's boring, I mean, everything in this world, like every mode of exercise, any movement principle naman, uh, it can't serve everyone in this world. So, for those who practice yoga, so I can only speak for those who practice yoga, the benefits, this I found in myself. Number one, I think my patience grew longer
Oh, that's so
because
great.
I was able to parang deep dive more into myself. Kasi 'di ba yoga allows you to think and to observe yourself. You're the only one that you should look at when you do your yoga, when you practice. Parang I think I grew a lot more patient. It helped me become more aware of my breathing. And not everyone knows how to breathe. I mean, diba, Coach Pao, I think for sure you've had clients na, kunyari, example, it's plank. Instead of breathing in plank, right, they hold their breath.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh gosh.
Diba? Kaya parang, oh my gosh, ang hirap ng plank. It's because people are not breathing. So I think that's the one of the most concrete benefits that you get from yoga is you learn how to breathe. And when you learn how to breathe, you get this tool. You have this tool in your pocket that you can use to deal with anything outside your yoga mat. When you get to deal with problems in your life, when you encounter stressful situations, you're taught in your yoga to breathe, to come back to the breath. And so, di ba hindi ka na natataranta, hindi ka na nararattle, because you are aware of how to breathe, you are aware of how to handle yourself in those stressful situations.
Ang
I
galing.
won't
Yan.
get na into the biological benefits. Marami. Di ba?
Marami. Oo. Baka
Or
malulo yung natin, audience.
lang, easy lang. Go light lang on the Pero I
Ayan.
think those are the most concrete ones I can think of right now.
That's really great, no? And I totally agree with that. Kaya, Miss Tel, mag-yoga ka na.
Tara na.
Sumali ka na kay, Miss Sophia.
Kaya.
Ha?
Ang bigat ko, parang hindi ko kakayanin.
Ano na lang kaya ako, no? 200 pounds ako.
May chair yoga naman, and we don't have to do plank. We
Diba?
can work around.
Wala ka nang lusot, Day.
Walang lusot.
Wala ka nang lusot. Kasi yan si Miss Sophia, yung goal namin dyan is bumalik yung glow up niya nung kabataan days niya. Pero times 10. Yan, mga times 10. Yung glow up siya noon, times 10 pa.
Shining star.
Ganyan, yun.
Kaya yan. Ibalik natin yan, Tel.
Huwag kang tumawad, Chantel.
Ilaban natin.
Tawanan niya lang tayo, coach.
Oo, sabi ko na. So,
Tawanan
Miss Sophia, i-enroll ko to si Miss Tel sa'yo
Yes.
para ano ka na, gumalaw, para pressured kang gumalaw every day. Hindi pressured naman. I mean, like, you see yourself in the responsibility to move. But I think, no, I would totally agree on your points. Especially that's why I would also call yoga mindful movement. No, I'd like to put it like that because you become mindful of of your movements as you do it, as you become mindful of your breathing. You become present in the now rather than allow yourself to be thinking so many things for later because of the
Yeah.
different poses. And I totally agree on the breathing. Kasi, yun na nga, everybody knows how to inhale, exhale, but not everybody knows how to breathe well.
Yes.
No? And utilize its power in the day-to-day life, in the day-to-day living. And allowing yourself to be so on the ground in stressful situations no matter what happens. Ang galing nun, Miss Sophia. Kaya to all our listeners, mag-yoga na tayong lahat together with Miss Sophia.
Let's go!
Diba? So, yan. Unahan na yan ni Miss Tel.
Wala naman, coach. Wala naman natin.
Miss Tel hindi nagsasalita. Kanina ka pa yan excited, Miss Sophia. Yan, go. The chair is yours, Miss Tel.
Miss Sophia, question lang. Kasi kanina nabanggit mo na sabi mo na yung yoga, nakikita mo na gagawin mo siya for the rest of your life. Pero what if may mangyari na something like, for example, nagsawa ka na sa yoga. Just for example, dumating yung time na nagsawa ka na, napagod ka na magturo. Tawag ito, do you see yourself going back doon sa pinag-aralan mo? Like doon nga sa biology, tuloy yung pag-aaral mo doon? Or is there something na gusto mo pang gawin other than teaching?
You know, yung magsasawa, I think that's why I try to do other things also. Parang instead of looking at yoga as something na dapat ito lang yung gagawin ko, that this is the only thing I should focus on, I use it as like a supplement for, because recently, actually during the pandemic, I got into weightlifting. Parang na-enjoy ko siya. I got into weightlifting and I found na yoga can help me, improve on my weightlifting. Kasi when you lift weights, you have to be mindful. You have to be present, right? But similar siya with yoga. So, meron akong other activity that I can do with yoga. Kaya, I don't think magsasawa ako. I hope not. I mean, it's, but I don't think so. Kasi, yung my yoga, I think I see it as yun nga, as Coach Pao said, it's mindfulness, being in the present. So even if I don't practice yoga on my yoga mat, it's a mindful movement. So I can apply that when I'm washing the dishes, when I'm folding my laundry.
Ay, ang galing dyan, Jesus.
Mindful.
Yeah, galing.
For those people, especially who don't like to sit still, meditate, they get agitated when they're asked to stay still. You can still meditate when you're making your coffee, diba? When you're taking care of your kids, when you're playing with your pets, when you get engrossed in this activity that you're doing, diba? Parang your mind goes peaceful. You feel peaceful, your mind goes quiet. You're still applying your yoga to your everyday activities. So, yeah, I think yoga for me is part na siya. So I don't think it's gonna be gone. And whatever new venture I go into, baka pwede pa akong maging professional weightlifter, I don't know. It's still gonna be part. So it's not gonna go away. It's still part. But I just use it as something to help me in those new activities.
Ang galing yan. I like that, no? That I like how you place that yoga is not only being used while you're on the mat, Yoga, the state of doing yoga can be used also outside of the yoga mat. It's like
Yes.
with that being said from you, Miss Sophia, no, I remember the word kata. Kata is a Japanese word for forms. It's done by the Japanese, and they use it not only inside karate, but they use kata also outside of karate. So they do kata how they use their knives as a chef, with how they prepare ramen as a chef also, and other things. And that's really similar to what you said, no? I like how you put it together in a very intertwined and very interconnected everything that you do with
Mhm.
yoga. No, ang galing. Kaya guys, ano na, G na tayo for 2022.
This is the
No?
sign you're looking for. If you've
Ayan,
given
gusto ko yung sign.
to try yoga, I don't know. See, for sure, maraming shy. I'm not flexible enough, or like what Miss Tel said, akala niya, I'm heavy. No. We have lots of types. We have different types of yoga that can suit you, that can resonate with you. Para, it's not just, the intense, the poses. You don't have to invert, you don't have to back bend for you to say that you're doing yoga. So no escape. This is the sign you're looking for. If you're listening and you're still thinking of it, try it
Let's
out.
go!
I mean, not just, parang hindi ko naman pinopromote just my studio, right? Pero lots of studios offer free trials, di ba? So, take advantage, di ba?
True, totoo yan. I've done that before, pre-pandemic times. I
Mm-mm.
have a lot of friends na yoga teachers. So I go and, pwede ako maki-session sa inyo. Sige ba, dito, Saturday,
Di
Sunday,
ba?
Monday, ganyan. But let's talk about the other practice that you also do. Kasi people also see as yoga na parang, I am too old for that. That's usually.
Mhm.
So what's the other practice that you do nga on yoga, Miss Sophia? And why is this important? I remember that you also handle old,
Yeah, elderly
elderly.
students, clients. Yun yun eh. When they say, I'm too old, we have a workaround naman that dilemma, that excuse. That's why we have chair yoga. So for those who are wondering, so I teach elderly patients who have dealt with neurodegenerative diseases. So
Oh, wow.
most of them, it's like they go back to the beginning where they forget and they don't have the strength anymore to simple lang, standing up from a chair lang. It's a challenge. And so that's where it comes in. There will be poses in yoga that can help strengthen certain muscle groups for them to be able to achieve standing up from a chair, sitting down with control so they don't fall on their hips, right? Walking properly. So these things that we have to address, we can address through yoga and through simple poses. Kaya nga we have chair yoga, we can practice on a chair. If you can't stand and you can't support your weight, we can also do yoga when you're lying down. If you can't sit up without being supported by someone else, lots of things that we can work around certain concerns. So age is not a hindrance, rather it's something to it's a challenge that we can overcome, actually. That's how I see it for me.
Oh, that's
Wala
really
talaga.
nice.
Wala.
Oh, wala talaga, Miss Tel. Kaya humanda ka na talaga.
Kakas.
Check na natin to.
Hindi ko siya, hindi ko intention na iparinig sa'yo, Miss Tel. Pero that's just reality.
Okay lang yan, Miss Sophia. Yun na yan, Miss Tel. Yan na
Ay,
yan.
nako.
This is your sign. Try yoga.
And I always tell, I think this year is a year where, because I'm a very thematic person also. So every year I put themes, and then I try to follow that theme all throughout the year and become consistent about it. And but still being flexible. So 2020 was the theme that I coined it is learn to thrive. So that was my 2020.
Mhm.
2021, the theme was dream again. So learn to dream again.
Wow.
That's why there were a lot of dreams that flourished in 2021 on our end also. 2022, I said the theme for this 2022 is dare to be. So we already dreamed so many dreams for 2021. Okay, what's next? It's time for you to dare and make those dreams realities. Or whatever that you think that will help you also this year. Kaya, Mister, and everybody to our listeners, let's all dare to be. Let's all dare to do yoga and improve our fitness levels also.
Yun pala yung goal at the end of the recording.
Yoga
Go na, okay na. Sige.
talaga yun. So yeah, Mistel, ayun, may tanong pa talaga si Mistel, Miss Sophia.
Ito, Miss, that is siguro related to what you said a while ago. So, parang ikaw ba, as a teacher, do you believe that discipline beats motivation? And how important motivation is in pursuit of one's goal?
I thought back then that you need to be motivated first for you to be able to do something. So let's say you want to start a workout routine and you want to move every day. It's not every day you'll feel motivated and inspired. And during those days na I don't feel well, sige, I won't get out of bed na lang. Wala na. It's gone. The motivation, it's not there anymore. So I think, yeah, I believe discipline beats motivation. Because when you really put in the hard work, when you lay out your plans and you stick to it, you put discipline first. While you're doing things, that's where the motivation comes out. So,
That's so nice.
diba? So for people, example, me, I don't like running. Like I think I'm scared to feel like this level of tiredness while running. Pero I push myself to do it because parang during the run, doon lumalabas yung, oh my gosh, this feels nice. Pero in the beginning, when you start your run, I don't like this. So I think it's the discipline that comes first. And then from there, your motivation will sprout from that discipline, from sticking to what you need to do.
Ayan. So, narinig mo yun. So, Mr. Step first, and then,
Oh,
before tayo maghanap ng motivation. I mean, it's really, I totally agree with that, Miss Sophia, no? I think if you put it into a formula na the tendencies, I mean, it's not mistake, but I think it is what we were taught. Wait for
Yeah.
motivation. Kailangan may motivation ka to do things. And then, we just wait. Nothing happens.
True.
Minsan hindi dumadating yung motivation. I think it was James Clear, the Atomic Habits, no? Thought who said na parang the formula should not be motivation equals action.
Mhm.
The formula should be action, then motivation. So motivation arrives the moment you act out. And
Yeah.
yun yung running na talk mo. And then that's really great. So every listener that's listening right now, no? So hopefully in whatever endeavor that you're currently doing now, let's learn not to wait for motivation because sometimes it will never arrive.
Yes.
Di ba? Minsan ang tagal na, kailan ka darating?
Yes. And you don't like, let's put this in the running, in the jogging example na you think you have to run 2 kilometers para you can consider it a run. Eh, if hindi talaga kaya, you can start with what? 500 meters, 1 kilometer. Don't beat yourself up too much. Oh, mabalik tayo doon. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take things one step at a time. 300 meters, sure. Basta you start, you ignite that discipline in you. Na you're trying your best day by day.
That's really nice. And I like that. And this also shows na ano, Miss Sophia, na as both, no, as also coaches, as a fellow coach in a different discipline, it's not all the time that we want to get up and then coach also. There are times that we really get tired as well.
Yes.
And doesn't we don't no, we're not most of the time, no, all the time, we're not all the time in the groove with
Yeah.
our craft like an artist, but we still stand up, do
Yes.
what we have to do, and after that what we have done, parang, oh god, I'm revitalized, parang,
Yes.
sumayaw, it's true this.
Yeah, I think that's also I think it also comes from the energy your student gave you. Pag
Yeah,
ikaw
that's
yung
true.
pat, 'di ba? And then it's that's where the fulfillment comes from. Parang nakaka-touch siya na you see your ikaw you don't feel game to coach pero you see your student na gumising ng maaga, 'di ba? To get on his or her mat or to go to the gym, right? So parang it's you're just feeding off each other's energies eh. Parang yun yung nakaka-motivate. See, that's where motivation will come in. Pag wala eh, ganun talaga, discipline first. And then even on the bad days, you'll see a light.
That's so nice, Miss Sophia. I think
Yeah.
no, I think last two questions for you
Mm.
for today's episode. And I think my second to the last question is, so we spoke about your learnings in the what do you call this one, in the bidding in the pageant area. You transition, and we had that talk on your yoga experience and how it will actually benefit everybody. And now we're talking about motivation and discipline. No, so first question is, so on the area of discipline, how did you develop it on, or how can they develop discipline amongst themselves? Now, especially now that we're in the pandemic, na dare to, me talaga, I tell people, if you haven't moved 2020, 21, this is a year where you have to dare and pick yourself in the collar, and then I have to move and improve my physical pillar, my physical wellness this year. Yon. So how do you develop that area?
I think it's important. And pumasok sa isip ko, I have this friend na who wanted to go back to being physically active. I think it's important to set realistic goals.
I like that.
Wag agad yung wag agad yung jump na level 10 agad, right?
So, abs agad.
Pwedeng level 0.5 muna and then level 1, right? Kasi kalaban natin yung sarili natin eh. When you set goals agad na, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming, parang napanghihinaan ka ng loob to do it, to dare. You don't even think of doing it. You don't dare to do it kasi it looks overwhelming. It's too much. So I think one tip is to set realistic goals. For a friend of mine who asked me, parang, oh, what can I do to be physically fit again? Kasi I have a lot on my plate, work and study. I'm so tired all the time, but I really want to go back. That's nice, actually. She had the drive, but she didn't know where to start. So that's a nice thing to start. Na know where you want to be. Set realistic goals, small little goals lang. Parang hagdan lang one step at a time, di ba?
Oh, that's
And I
nice.
told her na don't push yourself too much. Na if, for example, you feel tired already today and hindi mo pa kakalahati yung routine mo, that's it. I mean, that's it for that day. Try again the next day. So, little steps lang. And then you'll find yourself, you're gonna look back, oh, it's been a month already na I've been doing little things every day to keep me moving, right? And it's not every day that you'll feel good. It's not every day that you'll feel um, like you're doing something right. There will be days na talagang rock bottom. And for those days, I think it's important then to rest. This is where self-awareness then comes in. It's quite tricky kasi it can spiral into being lazy again eh. Medyo tricky siya eh to play around with. So I think another tip to concretize everything, you can journal it. You can
Oh, that's
write
so nice.
things, right? Parang, I think I did this before. Um, I put the date in, and then like I just put a phrase of how I felt. And then after a month, makikita mo like your patterns of like being tired, yung habits mo, you see it on paper. And then I think that's also nice para you can see the general picture of yourself, of how you are. So set small goals, write it down if you can. It really helps. And then yeah, just take it one day at a time. Ganun talaga. Tomorrow is uncertain. So, diba, we can only do what we can, bit by bit, to help ourselves.
Oh, that's so nice, no?
Tama si Miss Stella.
So, naiiyak niyan si Miss Tel. Sure ako dyan.
Hindi kasi coach, di ba binigyan mo ako ng set of exercise. Tapos minsan sabi ko, ano ba yun ang bigat ko? Hindi ko talaga magawa. So, tinatry ko pa din ang tinatry. Tapos pag hindi ko siya na-complete today, try ko ulit, sige bukas. Tapos nadadagdagan na siya unti-unti, coach. Ay,
Diba?
nako.
So, yeah.
Ayun.
Yan. So, yan. Naiiyak niyan si Miss Tel. Alam mo na yan, Miss Tel, ha? So, yung tinuro ni Miss Sophia, apply natin yan. Ako rin. So, that's really nice, Miss Sophia, no? I like the tips, especially on the realistic goals. Kasi minsan yun na nga, gusto agad abs. No? Teka lang, relax lang kayo. Gusto agad inversion. Relax lang kayo, guys. Chill. No?
Break down. You have to break it down. You have to break down the steps before you get there. And also, important pala, you have to accept na not everything you see that you want is feasible for the type of body you have. I realized this. I really wanted my arms to be proportional to how big my legs are. And then I evaluated and I thought, genetically baka hindi talaga ako meant to look how I wanted to look. So, di ba, you need to accept what you have and then work with what you have, what we were given. So,
Yeah, that's so true. I agree with that. I agree with that na hindi lahat ng bagay na kaya mo magawa. Except pag si Coach Pawix yung mag-train sa'yo. Joke lang. And then, joke lang. Siyempre, joke. Joke lang, guys. Ano ba? So, yeah, those are the really great tips on how to discipline yourself. And hopefully, to our listeners right now, hopefully you'll be able to jot this down and also be able to appreciate all these things that we're also teaching you from Miss Sophia, of course. No?
yeah.
So I think my last question and to end our session this afternoon, Miss Sophia, parang how can they find you and how will they be able to join your classes also?
Wow. Okay.
Yan.
Question. Okay. You can join me during my classes in Urban Ashram Yoga. So you can go to urbanashramyoga.com and then you'll see the schedule there. I'm the only Sophia on the schedule. So you can join me every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. So far that's my schedule. Some Mondays I also do the 6:30 p.m. It's beginner friendly yoga. So the advantage of Zoom, you can close your camera talaga if you're really shy, but that's why it doesn't hinder you from joining kasi you can join from the comforts of your home. So 6:30 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays in Urban Ashram Yoga. You can also visit my Instagram. It's sophiateaches.yoga on Instagram. And then you can message me there if you want to inquire about classes. You can also email me. So it's Sophia@sophiateaches.yoga if you want to inquire also. And then you can totally share concerns that you have, anything that hinders you from trying yoga out. Please let me know and then we can talk about it, right?
Wow,
Yes.
that's so
That's
nice. So everybody, yeah. So everybody, if you want to, join also, please do so. Please dare to join different kinds of disciplines this 2022.
Yes, not just yoga. Try lifting. Don't be afraid to lift weights. Di ba, Coach Pao?
Yes. Sophia, gano'n ka natagal nag-lift ng weights?
2020 lang. Doon lang ako naging into it talaga. So I watched
Really nice.
lots of stuff on YouTube. Like
Okay.
across powerlifting, CrossFit, strongman.
Grabe,
Intense yung strongman, pero it's really inspiring to watch, actually.
That's really nice. Ayan. So, yeah. Guys, if you want to join, if you're interested to join Miss Sophia, please join Miss Sophia in Urban Ashram. And Miss Tel, do you have anything to say, pa?
Wala na, siguro. Wala, hindi ko alam. Pero na-convince na siguro ako, Coach. Tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari sa mga susunod na.
So, ayan. So, I think this is the time where thank you very much for Miss Sophia for saying yes to our invitation with you. Your message and your story has been very inspiring the past 30 minutes of conversation with you.
I hope you had fun listening. If you've reached this part of the podcast, yay! Thank you. I hope you learned a thing or two. And if not, you can listen again the next week. Baka dun lang mag-sink in yung knowledge, di ba, Coach Pa? Sometimes you don't learn it on the actual spot eh. Sometimes it sinks in weeks, maybe months later on. So, give us a go. Listen again, di ba? And yeah, follow DGY Academy. Very educational. You learn a lot. And yeah, thanks for having me, Coach Pa, Miss Tel.
Yes, the pleasure is all ours. So yeah, that is for our episode for today, and I know our truth seekers, Miss Sophia, are looking forward to the upcoming guests as well. No, that we would invite for the program. Believe me, we're also sharing the same enthusiasm that you are feeling right now.
Again, this has been DGY Academy. To know more about our future guests and events, you may follow us on our Facebook and our Instagram at the Goy Academy. Fuel your curiosities, be motivated daily. This has been the Unspoken Truth with DGY Academy. Have a great day and stay safe.
Stay safe, everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye.